The voice of Jesus was the voice of power. He spoke of whom it was recorded that all things were made by him. John 1:3. Who said, "All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth." Matthew 28:18. Whom the elements of nature reverently obeyed, and who at the moment was manifesting his supremacy by suspending his own laws while he walked upon the sea. It was the voice of one who obviously was able to do everything that was necessary for the safety of the disciples. The storm might be furious, but he could control it. The waves might be boisterous, but he who marched upon their foaming crests could curb their violence. He could, by a word, either still the tempest or preserve his disciples in the midst of it. And it is the same voice of omnipotence which still speaks amid the storm. He who made can control. It is as true in reference to troubles of every kind as it is to the elements of nature, that fire and hail, snow and vapors, stormy wind, fulfill his word. He has established them forever. He has made a decree that shall not pass. The sea is his, and he made it. He set for it bars and doors, and said, "Hitherto shall you come, and no further, and here shall your proud waves be stayed." And surely he who commands and raises the stormy wind, which lifts up the waves thereof, is equally able to make the storm a calm, so that the waves thereof are still. Afflicted disciple, be of good cheer. He who speaks to you in the tempest produced it and can control it. The friend who bids you fear not is the God by whom all things were made. He who appears for your support has but to speak, and it is done. To command, and it stands fast. His word is as mighty when it speaks for the comfort of his afflicted people as when it said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Is anything too hard for the Lord? His very word of grace is strong, as that which built the skies. The voice that rolls the stars along speaks all the promises. But the recognition of his voice as one of power is not alone sufficient to take away our fear. It might increase it. For he who speaks is the God whom I have offended by my sins, and whose power enables him only the more effectually to secure my punishment. If he can control the storm, he may direct that lightning to scathe me, those waves to engulf me. The acknowledgement merely of the God of nature is not enough to calm the agitated breast. Until I can hope for the pardon, the very perfections that render him glorious render him dreadful too. That infinite majesty, that unlimited sovereignty, that boundless might is all arrayed against my sins. I must behold Jehovah as the God of grace. I must see him in the person of his Son before my fears can vanish. And it is Jesus, Emmanuel, God with us, who says, "It is I." The voice of Jesus was also the voice of love. The disciples at once recognized it as such. It was their best friend who addressed them, whose tenderness had been uniform, who always made allowances for their infirmities, bore with their provocations, and sympathized with their sorrows. They had never witnessed any act of his life that was not marked by love. None who sought his assistance were ever rejected by him, and to no request did he ever turn a deaf ear or an indifferent ear. They were therefore perfectly sure that his power would be put forth to help them. The same voice of love speaks in the storm still. He addresses us, of whom it is written, "Like as a father pities his children, so the Lord pity those who fears him. As one whom his mother comforts, so will I comfort you." Can a woman forget her sucking child, that she should not have compassion upon the son of her womb? Yes, she may forget, yet I will not forget you. Isaiah 66:13, Psalm 103:13, Isaiah 49:15. The voice of Jesus is the voice of the consolation of Israel, who was anointed to bind up the brokenhearted and comfort those who mourn, and of a high priest who can have compassion. What could more empathetically prove his love than coming to this world of sorrow and sin to suffer and die for us when we were enemies to God. He left the habitation of glory for the stable of an inn, the homage of angels for the insults of men, the smile of his Father for the temptations of the devil, the raptures of heaven for the groans of Gethsemane, the splendors of the throne for the ignominy of the cross, the brightness of celestial glory for the darkness of the tomb. And why was this? It was love that prompted the sacrifice. Love to the undeserving, to the rebellious, to those who then crucified, and to those who now pierce him by their sins. And love still prompts his intercession at God's right hand. Having done so much to save us, will he allow us to perish in the storm? He that spared not his own Son, but delivered him up for us all, will he not with him also freely give us all things? Romans 8:32. Will the love that has already effected so much fail us in any extremity? May we not feel every doubt dispelled when we recognize it to be Jesus who says, "It is I." The scepter he grasps is omnipotence, but we need not be afraid when the hand that wields it is love. The winds and the sea obey him, Matthew 8:27. But the voice to which the universe pays homage says to every trembling disciple, "Be of good cheer," Matthew 14:27. The God that rules on high and thunders when he please, that rides upon the stormy sky and manages the seas, this awesome God is ours, our Father and our friend.